This organization is special. It means so much to so many people. It's a special place to work, too. Our staff...
St. Louis, as the calendar turns and the echoes of the winter meetings fade into memory, the St. Louis Cardinals find themselves standing at one of the most consequential junctions the franchise has faced in years. The noise has quieted, the speculation has narrowed, and now, with spring training looming just weeks away, the decisions still left on the table carry outsized importance. This is no longer the season of fantasy baseball moves and late-night refreshes. This is the part of the offseason where direction becomes visible, where a front office either commits to balance or drifts into ambiguity. The Cardinals, under President of Baseball Operations Chaim Bloom, are attempting something deceptively difficult, remaining competitive enough to be credible while prioritizing the long-term development of a new core. It is a tightrope act that leaves little margin for error, and one misstep could reverberate through the organization for years. The off-season slowdown and why it matters. The broader free agent market has moved at a glacial pace. That is not unique to St. Louis, but it amplifies the pressure on teams operating without unlimited payroll flexibility. As January begins, several marquee names remain unsigned, players who in previous eras would have been off the board before Christmas. Kyle Tucker, Bo Bichette, Framber Valdez. The lack of movement reflects not indecision, but caution. Front offices across the league are increasingly unwilling to sacrifice flexibility for short-term gains. For the Cardinals, that trend aligns with Bloom's stated philosophy, but alignment does not eliminate urgency. Because while patience is a virtue, passivity is a risk. The outfield, youth, promise, and an obvious gap. The Cardinals' outfield encapsulates the organization's broader dilemma. Jordan Walker will be there. That much is clear. The organization is committed to giving him every opportunity to grow, struggle, adjust, and ultimately succeed at the major league level. Victor Scott II will also factor prominently, largely because his defense already plays at an elite level. Gold Glove potential is not hyperbole in his case. The bat, however, remains a work in progress, and the Cardinals understand that his offensive development cannot be rushed. Lars Nootbaar is expected to remain in the mix as well. While his name surfaced in trade conversations earlier in the offseason, those discussions have cooled, at least for now. But beyond that trio, depth becomes thin very quickly. Jose Fermin provides versatility and posted a respectable .793 OPS last season, but his value lies more in adaptability than impact. Nolan Church, meanwhile, remains an unknown commodity at the major league level, and the data from last season does little to suggest immediate reliability. This is where roster construction meets reality. With Scott likely shielded from heavy exposure to right-handed pitching and Nootbaar himself functioning best in platoon situations, the Cardinals lack a stabilizing presence, ideally a right-handed bat, capable of absorbing regular at-bats without compromising development. Veteran outfield solutions and why flexibility is key. The Cardinals are not searching for a star in the outfield. They are searching for competence, experience, and optionality. Austin Hayes remains one of the more logical fits. His ability to punish left-handed pitching, combined with modest contract expectations, makes him a clean addition without long-term consequences. Reunion candidates also linger on the market. Harrison Bader's defensive value remains intact, though his likely preference for a contender and higher price point may complicate matters. Randall Grichuk and Tommy Pham offer different versions of the same solution. Veteran bats with established track records who can fill gaps without blocking prospects. The appeal of these players is not just performance, it is flexibility. Should a prospect like Joshua Baez force the issue with a standout spring or dominant minor league performance, the Cardinals retain the ability to pivot quickly. Baez, in particular, represents the kind of wild card every organization monitors closely. His rapid rise through prospect rankings and five-tool potential make him intriguing, but the Cardinals cannot plan their opening day roster around spring training dreams alone. The bullpen, a quiet but pressing concern. If the outfield represents a visible weakness, the bullpen represents a looming one. Jojo Romero stands as the lone proven left-handed option, and even his long-term status remains uncertain. While trade chatter surrounding Romero has cooled, his value may ultimately peak closer to the trade deadline, not the offseason. Beyond Romero, the bullpen lacks experience. Ryan Fernandez, the most seasoned option outside Romero, has fewer than 100 career innings pitched. That is not a foundation. It is a gamble. Left-handed relief help is not optional. It is mandatory. Veterans like Andrew Chafin and Danny Coulombe offer short-term solutions with proven results. Coulombe, in particular, brings both effectiveness and a local connection that could ease negotiations. Then there is Kobe Allard, a former first-round pick who reinvented himself as a reliever in Cleveland. At 28 years old, with strong recent results and no overwhelming market buzz, he fits the Cardinals' historical appetite for reclamation projects perfectly. The bullpen does not require star power. It requires stability, redundancy, and experience. One arm is not enough. Two may be necessary. The rotation debate: add carefully or don't add at all. Perhaps the most polarizing discussion surrounds the starting rotation. Bloom has made it clear that the Cardinals remain open to adding experience, but not at the expense of opportunity. That distinction is critical. Signing a veteran simply to absorb innings risks stalling the development of young arms who need exposure at the major league level, yet refusing to add any experience at all risks overburdening those same pitchers. The answer lies in selectivity. Walker Buehler represents the most intriguing high-variance option. A former Cy Young contender, Buehler's career has been reshaped by injuries, including 2 Tommy John surgeries. Velocity loss has forced him to evolve as a pitcher, a challenge the Cardinals believe they can help solve. On a one-year deal, the risk becomes manageable. The upside, however, remains substantial. Nick Martinez offers a different profile, a swingman capable of starting or relieving, providing depth without rigidity. His struggles in hitter-friendly environments contrast sharply with his success in pitcher-friendly parks, making Busch Stadium a potentially ideal fit. The Cardinals do not need multiple rotation additions. They need one correct one. The larger picture. This offseason is not about splashes. It is about alignment. The Cardinals must add one veteran outfielder with flexibility, at least one experienced left-handed reliever, one rotation piece who enhances depth without obstruction. These moves do not compromise the future. They protect it. They ensure that young players develop in a functional environment rather than a chaotic one. They preserve trade options. They maintain credibility with fans who continue to invest emotionally and financially in the product on the field. As January unfolds, the pressure will increase. Options will disappear. The music will stop. The Cardinals have done the hard part, creating opportunity through subtraction and restructuring. Now comes the part that defines front offices: finishing the job. The next few weeks will reveal whether St. Louis can truly balance patience with purpose or whether restraint drifts into missed opportunity. This story is not finished. It is only entering its most important chapter.